A truly one-of-a-kind film, an amazing phenomenon that has it all. A mob hit, a burning car, an international martial arts conspiracy, an international drug trafficking conspiracy, priests, a dinosaur, you name it. Alyssa Kempinski and Greg Cohan, 2017's Velocipastor. Not gonna lie, it's hard to even deliver that with a straight face, and I'm gonna fail again. Velocipastor is the touching tale of Doug Jones, a Roman Catholic priest, a young priest serving in the field whose parents are murdered. He watches their car explode and they die for reasons unbeknownst to him. Getting completely bizarre advice from the senior priest, he goes on a journey far away to wherever he thinks God won't be to see if God shows up, something like that. He makes his way to China, which looks suspiciously like the Midwestern United States, anywhere in the woods. And a random Chinese girl fleeing from an unknown assailant bequeaths him a talon of some ancient prehistoric animal and mutters something about a dragon warrior that he does not understand because he does not speak any of the dialects of Chinese. Returning to the States, the young father Doug discovers that he occasionally turns into a velociraptor, a dinosaur, and eats the bad guys. He meets, after rescuing and saving the life of a young prostitute, Carol, who is a pre-med and pre-law student who is working the streets to pay for that almost completely improbable set of studies. She is making ends meet by letting meat meet her end. Oh, I thank God I didn't write that. After rescuing her, they piece together that he becomes this dinosaur creature, and they begin to work out something like a partnership right from a superhero movie where he's going to use his newfound power to fight the bad guys. In the ensuing sequence of events, he discovers that he is the target, as was the Chinese girl earlier in the movie, of this international martial arts conspiracy, which turns out to be a martial arts conspiracy dojo of radical Christians who are also drug pushers, because they have a network globally of pushing drugs so that people will be driven into 12-step programs and other help therapies via the church, and therefore it ends up being a weird, elaborate conspiracy to bring people to church by addicting them to drugs. And that's not even the most bizarre part of the movie. We get fascinating flashbacks to a war, which is not defined as when this war was, with the senior priest being scarred emotionally by the completely improbable sequence of losses and destruction, and a lot of splattering of what appears to be ketchup and then later tomato soup. It all culminates in a final battle with the bad guys, who are the radical Christian Chinese martial artists who are going to take over the world by trafficking narcotics. And with a great bloodbath that is really just a whole lot of tomato soup, a wonderful scene with the decapitated heads, which are clearly badly painted mannequins. I think I forgot to mention the burning car at the beginning is described for us on the screen. We do not see it. And being afflicted with the antidote, or rather something that undoes the power of the dinosaur inside him. Nevertheless, Father Doug still is able to retain dinosaur hands, which he uses to remove the bad guy leader's head from his clearly mannequin stand-in body, and we get to see the, I think it's styrofoam mannequin head dripping with tomato sauce. Finally, against all odds, Carol survives despite being cut nearly in half by something during the final battle, and she's just fine. And when you see it, you'll understand she's fine. It makes sure that you know that she's fine. And now the two of them are off, the newfound lovebirds, on this international quest to stop the evil power of the church, which is actually clearly a drug-dealing martial arts cult. If you have not seen it, I don't even know what to tell you. Do I recommend it? Do I not recommend it? It was absolutely escapist entertainment of the not so finest sort. Velocipastor is funny. It is, and honestly, the lack of special effects, you can pick on it, but I've always said effects don't make a movie, story does. But this movie is clearly meant to be escapist fun and not meant to be taken too seriously. You should watch it. You should love it. You should probably watch it while also scrolling through your Facebook news feed or playing Angry Birds on your phone. Nevertheless, it is definitely worth seeing. I will say this about Velocipastor. Despite all of the ridiculousness, which is intended, and all of the over-the-top foolishness, which is intended, all of the irrationalness of the plot, it was a lot more cohesive and made a lot more sense than anything being turned out by fake Star Trek, fake Marvel, and fake Star Wars these days. Yes, I'm going to go right back to that topic I was dealing with, where in Velocipastor, even though the weird things inexplicably happen and weird things happen in the war flashback and weird things happen throughout, there is a consistency to what happens, even discovering that Father Doug had a long-lost brother that was neither long nor lost, that was there all along but omitted from the scenes for reasons not explained ever, appears to be the bad guy, one of the bad guys at the end. Even in that, it made a lot more cohesive sense than any of the last 3 Star Wars movies, than any of the current Star Trek prequel nonsense in the Kurtzman universe. It made more sense than Bucky and Bird and WandaVision and anything Marvel has done since starting with Infinity War. So there is actually a cohesive plot that flows. One thing flows from another, even when it surprises you because it's completely irrational, yet it connects in a way that is clearly meant to be both facetious and organic. If you haven't seen it, it was streaming free on Amazon Prime. Find it. Let me know what you think below. Love it. Enjoy it. Chuckle at it. Whatever. Velocipastor.